Civil War. What is it? Civil war is a war between citizens of the same country. I am from a country who's at war right now and has been at war for about 7 years. I am Bilal Zuabi, and I am a normal teenage student who was born in Syria but raised in Winnipeg. When I was 1, my family and I immigrated to Canada to get our citizenships. Once we got our citizenships, we moved back to Syria to move on with our lives and live closer to our family. This is when everything was peaceful and non-violent. Soon after we settled again, we got bad news about the government, about what the president is doing. At the start of the Civil War, the president of Syria was blocking off every border to get into towns. Families were separated from each other, and people who didn't listen to them would get shot or tortured to death. I'd like to talk about my story and what I went through in the beginning of the Civil War of Syria. At the start of the Civil War, I got separated from my family. I wanted to go to my grandma's house, so I called my uncle. He took my sister and I to my grandma's. My mom and my family stayed at their home. My grandma's house is about an hour away. When we got there, I went and I hung out with my cousin. Soon after getting there, my sister had this weird feeling, so she wanted to go home. She asked my uncle to take her home, then she asked me if I wanted to come along. I didn't want to go along because I wanted to stay with my cousin because I haven't seen him for a while. I regret not going back with them. I should have just went back. When my sister got home, we got news from people. They told us that the president is going crazy and he sent his troops to close off every border to get into towns. I was scared. I was scared for my family because I was by myself at my grandma's house. My sister, my brother, my mom, they were all an hour away. In that time, I felt like I was separated from them for so long. But it was really 1 week that I wasn't able to see my family. After a week, the president opened the borders to let people go see their families, to let them go to their families. My uncle took me back to my family, and I stayed with them. At this time, the war wasn't that bad because everything was calm. There wasn't much happening. After being with my family for weeks now, everything was calm and quiet. We thought it would just stay this way, but no, it was just the beginning. A couple days later of everything being calm and everything being perfect, we heard gunshots and protesters yelling. Our initial reaction was to look out of the window and see what is going on, and that's what we did. But we wish we didn't. I saw a man get shot from a 2-story building and fall to his death. I saw people get held at gunpoint. I saw a taxi with a leg hanging out of it because it was pouring blood. I went through a lot at this time when I was with my family. A couple weeks after, the Civil War went calm again, but that was because it was just the beginning. We tried to go to the borders, tried to flee the country, but we just get sent right back. So the next day, we would try again and again, until one day, we made an excuse to let us through. We tried whatever we could to flee the country. We told the Syrian army that was at the borders that if they don't let us through, we will call the Canadian agency to come and get us. But we didn't really have any contact with anyone. We just said whatever we could to flee the country. The reason why the Syrian army let us leave is because they didn't want Canada to get involved. Civil wars can ruin homes, take lives, tear families apart, and impact people's futures. I still have family in Syria to this day.